Hi guys, so this is my Moog Matriarch and we're going to visit some of my patches and some of the oddities and quirks about this machine a bit later on when we get into some more advanced patching. The intro was just me noodling around with 5 oscillator patch, which again we'll visit a bit later. But what I want to do for this next part is just show you what this 5th oscillator is. Essentially the LFO, which we are controlling with the keyboard CV out the back. And we're going to punch in the noise input on the mixer. So that's all we're going to be listening to for this next patch. And just listen to how creamy that is on its own, without anything else. Well, I say that. I've got cloud burst reverb there, but ever so subtly. And obviously I'm using the inbuilt delay. This patch is just in on the left-hand side, and it makes it work in more stereo mode, really. It's just how it operates. So if you patch that in on the left side, you get a bit better of a ping pong. But yeah, this oscillator starts so well, they all have, but it's just got so much bass. It's just amazing. Anyway, let's play it. Doesn't that sound cool? That sounds pretty cool to me. So yeah, that's that patch. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to introduce some of the other oscillators. So that's just that oscillator. So now you can get a really thick tone. What I've found is when using the arpeggiator with this 5th oscillator, it gets arpeggiated in a slightly different way. All the notes don't get triggered. Then you find these 4 will get triggered. So yeah, that does add some different tonal notes going on in the background. So it's definitely worth playing around. I tend to add in this if I want to get some crazy notes at the end, some bends and stuff. You're kind of limited because this is set to your pitch. But in actual fact, if we turn these down, as I mentioned before, maybe, this in a way is modulating these four. And the pitch of this one is actually this is a fifth above that. And you get this kind of harmonic. Which now I've turned the delay off and the reverb off. This same patch that we just used a minute ago is now, you know, a good bass patch. But I tell you what, let's tune it to the actual picks that we're meant to be tuning it to. Let's just choose a few saws, just. And because now it's kind of in tune, but it's never going to be exact. If you push the cutoff amount, and I've got some pitch amount, so it's going to wobble a bit, you kind of get this out of tune. Is such an awesome bass sound to play. Dirty. So yeah, so that's it. Now I have got this as I have had the whole time we've been playing this evening, this on the sync. But what you can do with this is to get some movement. We'll do that in there, we'll do this in here, and we'll do this over here. So we are coming out of the triangle out quite slow into an attenuator, because otherwise I don't want it to go too far up and down, and into the pitch in, which now is essentially me turning this knob. You hear it sweeping. And that's a good way just to get some movement. But maybe a little bit less of the upper sweep. Get down a bit. Yeah, maybe a bit much. Slow it down a bit. It's maybe a bit fast. Yeah, so there you go. And we're probably going to use that in a patch a little bit later, but I just thought I'd introduce that and show you how you can get some movement. Now, this patch is leading on from the last patch where we've got this movement coming into the fourth oscillator. And the reason why you do it here is because if you feed it anywhere further up, then it just feeds down the chain. And if they're not in sync mode, then they're going to just oscillate, which is not kind of what you want. So we've got this set up again as we did in the previous patch. The only difference now is we're in paraphonic mode. paraphonic mode 4, which means we're going to cycle through each note. Every time I press a key, it's going to play each note. I've also got the modulation running very slowly. And what happens is when it's in its off mode, it really, and this is up obviously because this needs to engage it. The notes are much shorter. And when it's on, the notes are much longer. So I'm just going to noodle around essentially. And I might just edit it because it's a bit random. So you have to kind of get it right. But it's an awesome patch because you can play long note and short notes. So that's so cool. And honestly, I have sat here for hours and just noodled around, as I will continue to do. Of course, you can use the arpeggiator with it. That is so cool, man. That is so cool. You have to play that patch. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I could play it forever, but it's just so much fun to play. So this next patch, it's very similar to the last patch, but I'm now feeding this triangle into the modulation section, and you'll see why in a minute. And the only other thing I'm doing is the envelope out is going into the time in of the delay. So when the envelope finishes its loop, it changes the delay time. The other difference with this patch is we're in 2-voice paraphonic mode. So these two oscillators bounce between each other. So just as a quick example, and when I let go, the delay does its odd timings. So that's kind of the patch. I'm going to cut to another part of the video I recorded the other night. The lights fell down and it was all a bit of a mess, but the actual playing, as I wasn't thinking about it, actually came out a lot nicer. So I'm going to cut to that and I'll come back to this setup for the next patch. I'll see you in a minute. And so because the envelope is modulating the delay time, when you hold the notes down, you get the standard delay time. It's not until this completes the envelope when you release the key that you get the funny delay sound. see. So that's that. Oh, you can hear the delay doing this weird thing. Yeah, it's quite weird. It does some quite nice things. Like that. That's pretty cool. So yeah, that's mad. I have no idea what to call it, but it's so cool. I don't know what. I think the filter's pretty much. So this next one is just a weird special effect. And basically what we're doing is we're taking the wave out and we're going to use a saw ramp up into the FM inputs, the linear inputs. I'm just using 3 oscillators. They're all synced. This is midway. This is somewhere up there. They could be anywhere really. Turn the 4th one down because we don't want to listen to that. Ignore that for a minute. We're not using that. And this here will do this. Some kind of ramp down special effect. And that's really all it does. You can get some gnarly noises if you... If you want that sort of Millennium Warp Drive failure sound. But anyway, if you do this, put that into there and that into here. So we're driving now. We're going to drive the rate control from here. And we're also going to feed that into the cutoff. And you want to be on the stereo filter, because what's going to happen now, if we've got it right, is the whole thing's going to shift from right to left and roll the VCF off at the same time. So it fades away. Yeah, from right to left. So that's pretty cool. And if you add this, you get a little bit of a drop sound. Pitch amount. But yeah, so that's that weird thing. I don't know how I found that, but I just came up with it one day. So that's the Millennium Warp Drive failure sound. Let's move on. So for this patch, I wanted to showcase the sequencer because you can come up with some really creative sequences just by chance. And I'll demonstrate actually recording something a bit, but have a listen to what I've just come up with now. It's in Paraphonic 2 voice mode because you can do some interesting chordal stuff with that. So I quite like that. Got my normal Oscillator 4 in sync mode. Gives slightly different tones to it. So this is what I've just come up with. No, I haven't. So, it's not perfect, but you get the idea of what we're trying to do. It's great to come up with some ideas for some songs, startup songs, which I really like. So you saw me there actually switching octaves, and as long as you hold the note down between the notes, legato, it will carry on playing the sequence, but drop an octave or change key. You don't have to do octave, you could literally change key. So that's the idea. So I've put something in 4 and 3. Let's put something in position 2. So you select 2, put it into record mode. And now paraphonic mode is 2 notes, obviously, but I'm actually going to play 3 because what happens is you confuse the sequencer. It doesn't know which note to pick. You get some really random things. The other thing I do is I'm using the rest to use some syncopation. So I'm just going to make something up. I've got no idea what I'm going to do other than this. So, I have no idea what that's going to sound like, but let's have a listen. And press it play. And that way you can generate a whole performance of things and you could keep going. You've got lots of memory. So you've got 4 on that position and then you've got a bank of 3 here. So you've got another 2 banks of 4 that you can use. And you can go on forever, making some really cool sequences. So, and then of course you can put it in hold mode, and you can actually play around with the release times and the filters. The sync I could have played with there, the delay. The actual reverb is the cloudburst that's in use there. So you're hearing the reverb from that. And obviously I've synced the delay up. To be in time as well, so you kind of get some bouncing around. But honestly, enjoy that one. So you made it to the end, which you deserve a medal. And for that, you could hit the like, hit subscribe, add a comment, code word, I made it. Yeah, so thank you if you have made it to the end. That's it really, isn't it? What else can I say? It's alright, isn't it? Not bad. Yeah, it's okay, it'll do. But actually, the sound is unlike anything else. We've got Super Gemini, pretty special. We've got the Poly. No, it's a Poly. That's the what is a Poly? It's a Poly 6. The analog sound is just something about it. It just keeps you wanting to play it more and more. So I know I'm 5 years late to the party. It came out about 5 years ago, and you know, I'm a bit late, but I haven't heard anybody else's sound quite like mine. So there's that. But, you know, prove me wrong. Let's have a listen to some of your patches. Yeah, let's see how good you are. No, I'm joking. But anyway, let's have a listen to some of your patches. If you've got some patches, you tell me. And I've probably made some mistakes, like told some stupid things. I think I called these something. But, you know, it's all good, isn't it? Anyway, we should end the video now, shouldn't we? Until next time.